Anthony Jakes out of New York. I'm a Technodolly operator, full-time. The Technodolly there's nothing else like it. So you have the benefits of a techno crane and the legacy of the techno crane, the telescopic arm, and any size camera you want, and the ability to program very precise moves and to repeat if you like those moves. Half my jobs, they don't care about the repeat. They just like the precision of the movement and be able to plan and plot movement you could not do with any other camera platform in the world. I just finished a huge Bollywood film called Zero, where we did most of the shots in the movie. So the main actor had to be shrunk. Two X-Men movies, The Martian. I know the Technodolly was used on the last Planet of the Apes movie extensively, and I'm trying to think the last 4 seasons of Game of Thrones was used quite a bit, and one of my favorite projects was David Bowie's last music video, the Lazarus music video. It was all Technodolly, so I'll remember more stuff. I'm pretty bad about remembering, because it's a techno crane first and foremost. All the grips know how to use it and what to do with it, and everybody knows what to expect out of it. One of the best things, you can just grab it by hand and just move it around. You don't have to. It's like I tell people, it's a techno crane first and foremost. And if you need a robot, hire a robot. But if you want a cinematic look and a crane, there's nothing beats the techno crane. It's the Rolls Royce of moving a camera. Most expensive project I worked on, I actually legally can't tell you that, but I hear the budget was about $500 million.
For anyone who wants to learn this, how many years have you used this, and what would you encourage anybody who wants to try to use that equipment?
I've used it for about 10 years now, going on 10 years. You can learn it very quickly. Like, you can sit down and learn it in a few minutes. It's an incredibly easy piece of hardware to learn. The skill comes in, basically how it works is you have a bunch of tools that it provides you. And so it's mixing and matching the tools to solve a problem that every shot has its own unique needs. So as the director presents the shot or the idea to you, you have to be able to say, okay, well, I can, you put together the pieces like Lego pieces and execute the shot that way. So a very common thing to do is I'll add in like a start, a middle, and an end of a basic shot, and then when the actor's ready, I just sort of like put the gas pedal down and go at the pace of the actor, and then maybe the operator's on the wheels, and then the focus puller's on the Preston, so I can record everything the Preston follow focus does. And and then other shots of like a hamburger or other shots may require importing the move from a previously shot live action camera, which a lot of the Game of Thrones work is they would add elements to an existing shot or fire elements and stuff. I think probably the highest profile, the biggest famous thing I've ever done on the Technodolly is put a flamethrower on it and been the dragon in Game of Thrones. Well, we had 2 Technodollies, one with a camera and one with a flamethrower, and lit up 15 stuntmen and 3 different shots. Wow. With 500 extras in costume in Spain, and that was a pretty big day. But I've worked with huge stars. I mean, it's nice when somebody comes to you and go, oh, we saw this shot in a movie and we want to try to do that. And I'm like, yeah, that was my shot. I know exactly how that was done. It's even funnier when they think they know how it was done. And I'm like, yeah, that's not how it was done. So the tool is very flexible. You can approach a shot a number of different ways. But I always try to orient it towards performance-based. So the actor decides when they're going to move, how fast they're going to move, when, after what line, and they'll change it every time. That's their prerogative. That's what people show up to see, and then we'll be there to follow along and to get the shot.
What do you think the future of this robotic dollies are in present filmmaking and future and beyond?
The nice thing is that creatives are starting to not be afraid of the technology. The motion control has not the best reputation for how quickly it can happen, how it wasn't quiet, it would break down. And now that the Technodolly's really reputation's picked up. More projects are coming up that they're dependent on this kind of technology to do. Like, say one actor wants to play two roles and there's dialogue. That would have been harder to do in the past because you couldn't use the sound. Now there's a whole stream of projects coming down the pipeline where that's one actor's playing multiple roles, and it's becoming possible now because of the technology.
What advice would you have for people who want to do this?
Well, be able to work under pressure. Like, keep your head under pressure. And so, like, when everybody's staring at you and they, they're into overtime by no fault of yours, but it just, it's often a complicated process. And they need you to do something, you have to be able to sit there and do some pretty tricky math or solve a problem on the fly. So just have that kind of ability. That most people have set experience. So coming in cold with no set experience, you have the double problem. A is that you're trying to learn the gear as you go, but you also don't really know how the set works. And so if you already know how a set works and you have good relationships with the DP and the first AD, to me the first AD is I have to keep a lot of people happy. I have to keep the visual effects supervisor happy, he hired me. I have to keep the DP happy because he's the DP. I have to keep the key grip happy because the crane is under the key grip's umbrella of responsibility. I have to keep, obviously, the director happy, but the first AD is the person that I use as the barometer, because if he's happy, that means we're on schedule, things are moving along, the actors aren't complaining, and so that it's everything I do, I try to be invisible. I try to make sure that they're going about this like they were making a regular movie, but we have this great tool. And then I have a certain number of people hire me because they know I can get more cool shots in a day than anything else can do. Like, I can, in a couple of minutes, I can put together a shot that you would never, ever, ever be able to pull off with any other piece of platform.
Anthony, thank you so much for talking to us.
Welcome.